You're welcome to Childish, and I'm going to ask you a question. If your child, maybe a male or a female child, comes to you and asks you, "Mommy, Daddy, what is rape?" What would you say? You're going to get the answer to this very soon. So stay with me. I'll teach you how to do it and how to say it. This song is a song I saw. I saw on the social media one of these days about this song. I'm going to share this song, and I hope that you get to learn a lot of things from it. While we are going to tell you, while we stay with us, we'll be talking about this.
It belongs to only me. It is mine and not yours. It belongs to only me. My body belongs to me. It belongs to only me. It is mine and not yours. It belongs to only me. My body belongs to me. It belongs to only me. It is mine and not yours. It belongs to only me. Private parts, I will tell. Touch my private parts, I will tell. I will tell it to my mommy, I will tell it to my daddy. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. I will tell it to my mommy, I will tell it to my daddy. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. If you touch my private parts, I will tell. If you touch my private part, I will tell. I will tell it to my mommy, I will tell it to my daddy. If you touch my private part, I will tell. What do you do to your private parts? I will protect it. I will cover it. I will tell my mommy if you try to touch. What do you do to your private parts? I will protect it. I will cover it. I will tell my mommy if you try to touch. Parents, listen to your children, children. We are the joy of tomorrow, tomorrow. Try to shake our abuse and let us to open up to you. Parents, listen to your children, children. We are the joy of tomorrow, tomorrow. Try to shake our abuse and let us to open up to you. Let us to open up to you.
There's something you need to talk to your kids about, no matter how uncomfortable, or how difficult that conversation may be. And that conversation is what we are going to be talking about today. So, one more time, my name is Maurice Nelson, and you're welcome to Childish. Remember, we were talking about how to tell your child about rape. So, any discussion about rape and consent needs to begin with the establishment of personal space and ownership of one's own body and space. It's very, very important for you to make this, for you to understand this. So, for example, when a child is reaching out to grab something that maybe another person is touching, or something from someone else's body, the parent can respond with a gentle redirection. All right, gentle redirection. I'm teaching of boundaries, modeling no touch situations, and affirming the importance and value of sharing thoughts and concerns. So when children reach a certain age, maybe 6 to 12, yeah, 6 to 12, some of the age, that's the school age now, it is important to have an open dialogue at home about personal boundaries and consent. Okay. Now, this thing was said from a licensed marriage and family therapist called Katie Zinskid. She suggests that using the concept of the personal bubble, which is it is an invisible bubble around you. There was time I was talking about this, and I'm going to elaborate it now. So, what's that invisible bubble around you? If someone is going to come into your bubble, you have the power to say yes or no. That is to give or not to give consent. She explains. Now, she asked us to ask our child something like this. So, ask your child, who can safely come into your bubble? For example, hugs and from parents can feel really good, and so can good night kisses from siblings. You can also ask your child, when has someone come into your bubble that you didn't want them to come in? All right, so that's a question you can ask your child. So that's like pre-children now. Now for teenagers, for adolescents, 13 to 17 years, you need honesty from their parents, okay, about sexuality and relationships. Talking about sexual violence is a responsibility of that parent, okay? Responsibility that parents must undertake to set their teens on a path of awareness and knowledge. Parents should talk about compromising behaviors, sexuality, and sexual violence. It is most effective and productive when we focus it on building awareness and creating an atmosphere of support and guidance rather than instilling fear, and all of those things. Like most of our parents will tell us, for example, if a man touches you, for the girls, and a man touches you, you're going to get pregnant. All right. So, they have a fear of talking about sexual matters. And this is the crux of the whole matter. Now, how do you tell your child about rape? How do you tell your child about rape? Remember the question I asked you in the beginning of this video. I asked you that what if your child comes to you and then asks you about rape? What are you going to say to your child? The first thing is this: you need to start with good touch and bad touch. The answer to the question that I talked about, what is rape, if your child asks you, depends on the age of your kid. Okay, for example, now for a toddler who might say that rape is a bad touch, you might also say that rape is a bad touch that makes you feel uncomfortable. All right. If there are three things you could tell them about sex and how some people do it forcibly, that's how to say it. That's how to say it. So now, for example, now for the 4 to 5 years of a child, 4 to 5 years age, okay, your kid should be able to understand that some people might try to touch them in a place where they don't want to be touched and where they feel uncomfortable. Starting from this age, you can tell them about the different kinds of touches, who might try to touch them and how they can protect themselves against these touches. Most of these sexual culprits are usually someone they know and not strangers. Remember our video about people. We're going to check the recommended video. You're going to see the statistics of people. We found out that 93% of sexual molestation that have been in statistics are traced to someone that these children know. And no, 7% of these are strangers and they don't jump out of the dark alleys. For example, you might have an uncle, an older family friend who constantly tries to get them alone and touches them inappropriately. So you need to tell your child that if someone they know or someone they do not know try to do this, they can tell you about it. So for example, they might have an uncle or an older family friend who constantly tries to get them alone, maybe in a dark place, in a lonely place, so as to touch them inappropriately. They do this thing. A lot of persons do it. So you need to tell your child that if someone they know or do not know, whether you know the person or you don't know the person, and does kind of thing to them, they can tell you about it so you can protect them from the touches in the future. That's how to say it now. So number two, talk about basic self-defense. Basic self-defense is very important. All right. Now for the adults, now you see that thing you used to call pepper spray and all of those things. You need to teach them about basic self-defense. Self-defense depends on the strength of their body. If they are strong enough, teach them basic punches and kicks to hurt those that try to hurt them. Preferably, shout and running is a best defense when other people are in the vicinity. Yes, for example, you're in your house, you're outside, and the person is doing it inside there. You need to teach them that they can shout it, they can run out of it. So another self-defense you can teach them can be in gyms. They can go to gyms and practice all of these things, okay, so as to help them build this. They can teach them how to kick, how to punch, then they should know how to hurt someone using their hands and their feet, maybe to bite. I mean, they are very important. These are things, these are periods when these things are very, very important. There are basic body movements like elbowing, kneeling, biting, all of those things. They need to try it so as to fight back when needed. So the third one is build confidence. Build confidence. Don't be afraid to answer any questions that they may ask. Okay, any question they may ask about sex, ask about molestation and all of those things, you need to answer them. It's important to make sure that your child knows that you are willing to answer any question that they may have about rape and sexual assault. It's very important. Now, this will tell them that it is okay for them to come to you if anything happens. Number four, let them know that it is not their fault. Yeah, it's not their fault. Make sure you tell your child that rape and sexual assault is not their fault. This will help relieve some of the stress they might feel, and it will also give them the confidence to know that nothing they do could possibly provoke the attack. You can also tell how violation of private space is very bad and how they can be put in jails for that. They can be put in jail for that. This will give your child an idea that it is a bigger issue than just themselves and there are repercussions to it. Try for the people who commit this kind of crime. Number five, create a safe space. Your child might not want to talk at first, okay? And that's okay. That's very okay. Now, Sometimes things like this can be hard to discuss, it can be very hard to discuss, and you should just let them know that they don't have to if they would rather not. If your child decides that they don't want to talk about it with you, you should listen carefully and be sure to check in with them when they are ready to talk about it. You should also make sure that your child knows they can come and talk to you about anything. About anything. Most of us don't have the opportunity of we going to our parents to talk about anything. These days, I think a lot of children have that opportunity, and they need to use it. You need to teach them that they need to use it. If you don't give them the confidence that they can come to you and talk to you about this, they will not come to you and talk to you about it because they will feel you're going to beat them, you're going to do something bad to them and all, and it will hamper their self confidence and all. So now, no matter how big or small it is, okay, they can come to you and talk to you, and make sure that you never ignore any accusations they come up with, thinking that kids are exaggerating or have misunderstood this particular thing. A lot of parents do it. They think that okay, the child is over exaggerating the thing and all. Whatever it is they say, just make sure you take it that way and follow it and make sure that you get to the root of the matter. So make sure to check the recommended videos listed in the description below, to understand how to create a safe space, or you can say create a safe environment for your kids. We talked about this in one of our videos. So in conclusion, rape and sexual assault is a difficult topic for both the parent and the child. Open discussions are the very first step in preparing our kids. I believe you've learned a lot from what we have talked about. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Make sure you turn on your notifications to our channel so you can be getting most of what I was talking about. So in the description below, you're going to see a lot of recommended videos for you. So make sure to go there and watch all of these recommended videos so as to get a hang of what we are talking about in this channel. Don't forget, every child is special and every child is a gift. So for you to make sure that you treat them as one, you need to know most of these things that we are talking about. Thank you very much and have a wonderful weekend.